He's had the big tee up.
Close to straighten off. That would be my sort of form. But you can see the easy power that exists for Ben. It's just enormous.
Yeah, I think he took a little bit out of his usual break there to just try and control the cue ball, but he's not got an easy starter, and there could be a lot of time taken out of this frame. Unless if he wants to choose to be ultra aggressive, you could maybe play the red along the bottom rail off the cushion and just glance the red, but if he wants to play cagey, he's just going to leave the cue ball on top of the red and the yellow. He's going.
Oh, how's that for aggression?
Yellow ball's in play.
That's a marker.
What have these guys fed tonight? That's a great start.
I told you the bear was hungry.
Just not quite sure if he's not reached. But by getting the yellow as his opening shot, it's got an element of control in the frame.
Yeah, it was, for as good a first shot as it was from Ben, it was a really tricky second. Because you saw how he obviously didn't reach the pocket, but all his attention was on the cue ball. If he ran the cue ball any further, he was in a bit of bother with his next shot, so it was a really difficult balance to strike. 𝗀𝗏𝗄𝗏 is not one to turn down an opportunity to go, and I think you might see from me in the shot that you mentioned earlier here on the reds.
The danger with this is if he hits the red full, he can just sort of double kiss and it leaves Ben a shot on the yellows, so I think that's okay. I think this might just sneak off the rail and off the yellow into the corner. It's a good opportunity for 𝗀𝗏𝗄𝗏 to put the marker down. Controlled it well. He's just got to take care and make sure he lands on the right side of his last red here.
Oh, wow. That wasn't in the script.
No,
It was a very, very tricky out, all in all. But just the way things have been going tonight, you just sort of expected it to fall just because how every player started. But, you know, worth remembering, this is a really, really tough game.
Yeah, it just shows that those guys out there are human, and yeah, you'd expected Ian to get that. But Ben's at the table, and this is a big shot coming up for Ben now. He's just, he should expect to get this, but it's a thin cut which is missable. If it hits the rail first, this could rattle. He's played it well.
Come down on a pretty nice line here as well, because you can manipulate the pocket a little bit. Maybe a bit of short position on these two yellows by the 8 ball.
Yeah, unless they plant it, the way he's sort of quit on that slightly, but they obviously plant. But I think I agree with what you were saying there, James. Just manipulate the pocket slightly and just top through and take the yellow into the opposite corner, because he's got to concentrate on the plant and also get position here.
Could not have landed really much worse, in all honesty, for Ben.
He seemed to like quit on it again and stun the shot rather than playing it with with screw. But doesn't look like he can see the yellow by the 8 ball. I'm not sure. So Ben trying to challenge Tom for a big shot.
pretty good effort in all truth.
It is, and he's got a second prize in a way whereby Ian's got to put it this way: I could not reach this shot.
Yeah, this is awkward, isn't it? He's going a different way around it. Didn't think this was able to go, but it is. It's a good shot from Ian.
Yeah, and I think he'll get his arm going here and screw off the side rail. Played it well.
In goes the 8 ball for Ian Alley, and it's a lesson that Ben has probably had before, but it's one that as a new player on the pro ranks he will learn the hard way quite a few times this year. When you play a top player like Ian Alley, they may give you the odd chance every now and then. They very rarely ever give you two.
And it's a bit of an edgy shot from Ben tonight. He's had 2 chances to win the frame, and you can see that little sigh there as he sat down. He'll be going round in his head the little mistakes he's made, and usually what top players do is punishing mistakes by breaking clearing.
Booming break from Ian Alley. I tell you what though, it just goes to show that first match between Dec and Tom, that frame there between these two, Ian and Ben, that first frame I feel like we've watched more weeks than not in the Champions League actually. That felt like the first frame of the night where both players are just getting their feel for things and trying to work their way into the night. That's why that match from Dec and Tom was so spectacular. They just flew out the traps.
Yeah, it was as though they've been playing out there all day, but Ian's tried to come down to the top end of the table and he's under it that already, and he's just going to have to reroute again. He's just going to, I think he's going to play safe the way he's looking. Would have thought he could see the red into the bottom left, but he's lotting for a 3-ball plant, I think.
Yeah, that was very missable. All right then, Ben. It's fallen in your favour in frame 2. This is where he has to show his mettle and punish the Ian Alley mistake.
Ian's just had a little bit of fortune there by missing that. He's nudged the last red and just tied up the yellow, so Ben's going to have to work out how he's going to attack the yellow, which is in between the 2 reds, if he's choosing to go for the finish. What is his plan?
I think you're asking the question that we all are, Liam.
Yeah. As you see, he's just seeing if there's a little gap for the cue ball there, but Luke's tight. But it is probably the only route that he can take.
He's got to be leaving it for last.
Yeah, he's got to be so precise, and not quite sure. He's still not right now, to be honest. He's he may look to leave an angle on the yellow to the middle and stun down.
Yeah, because this was the connector ball. That's the ball you really wanted to be on, to link it to the one next to the 8 ball, because you can just, you know, roll through if you're straight on it. You've got to do some good work here.
Yes.
These 3 do not connect together nicely at all.
You see, he's just having a walk round to just look at where he needs to leave the cue ball. So just punch this out slightly. It's a 4-ball connection on the red that's just above the yellow.
This needs to be precise. It's also do or die in the frame, because if you don't get this, it's frame over.
He's played that perfect.
Perfect. Big shot in the night, that feels like, for Ben Doyle.
Yeah, that'll just settle him down, and the bear's raring to go now. He found that little angle nicely as he played it, but he was forced to take that as his last shot as well. It wasn't an easy route, and he's got there to make it 1-1.
Yeah, really important visit that for Ben. You can see it's similar really to Tom actually in that first match. You know, for as good as Tom played in that first game, you know, there were shots where the cue ball wasn't where it needed to be, but he found the way, he found that recovery shot, and that's what Ben did there really, really well. Played a couple of bad shots to not have the cue ball on the string, but the hand he played there was clutch.
Yeah, and this is a huge frame of the night for these two players now, and I wonder if Ben will try to put a little bit more on that break compared to his first one.
Oh, there's no way. One, that it's dry. I thought the cue ball was in off as well into the bottom left corner. This is a tough one to take for Ben. No balls in off this. Everything's flying around the top of the table.
This is a big opportunity for Ian on yellows, and he can just play. He's got to take care on the first shot. He's going to be potting this yellow, and it looks like it may be going into the red, but he doesn't want to be pushing it towards the other yellow. As you see, he's played it well, but he's got a very small gap to land in.
Yeah, I think he'd have loved to have been able to take the yellow close to the right centre now. Get that out of the way. But the red's just in the way. It's a good shot. Sort of forced into it a little bit. It was definitely plan B, but that's come out okay. But all of a sudden, this visit now feels a little bit like work.
Yeah, this is the shot coming up. Can he see enough of it to just... I think he's going to play this with an element of right-hand spin. It's a nice nudge how that yellow's tracked across the table.
Yeah, that really couldn't have come out really any nicer for him, could it?
Ian's just got to decide on how he wants to land on the 8 ball. Does he bring the cue ball down to the bottom end of the table and clip the 8 ball into the right centre, or follow the last yellow through, take the 8 ball into the bottom right? Looking at the angle he's got, he's just going to stun down and take it into the right centre.
Oh, wow. Wow. I don't think Ian can quite believe what he's done. I know I can't.
No, he just didn't seem to get that bite on the cue ball that he needed. And there's been a few mistakes in this match already, and Tom and Declan, looking from the outside, will be happy.
Didn't come far away there. It's obviously a foul and a miss, but he was really looking to snick that thin, and he was actually really close to potting that, as funny as it sounds.
Yeah, this is a huge... So Ben's got a big opportunity here, and I think a lot of experienced players who've played this format before will... Some would look to use a lot of the match clock on this finish and take the full time to just keep themselves one in front, and to hopefully then be playing worst case for only for a draw. These all 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏, just take the middle one of the reds. Take the one by the 8 ball next.
It's an interesting question, isn't it? That question of managing match clock loops. It is something that Ben will have to learn on the job a little bit. He's had some exposure to it, but not a huge amount. I mean, you can use yourself as a bit of a case study. How long until you started to genuinely really think about match clocks in a sort of game clock scenario running down towards the end? It can't come naturally.
No, it doesn't come naturally. It sort of, especially when you hear that little buzzer and the 15-second shot clock comes into play, you sort of, you naturally go out of your rhythm. But I think, one, the experience of playing it, but also the experience of being like everyone at home now, just watching the Monday nights and how players like Stephen Dempsey, Sean Stories and that manoeuvre the clock to their favour. You pick up little tricks of the trade, I say.
Ben Doyle just keeps it sort of simple, which, you know, you can't really begrudge. Gets the frame on the boards. 4:23 left in the match. Still plenty of time for more frames in this one. But the Bear has the lead. And the Fave might well just be the underdog at this stage.
Yeah, we haven't seen the best of Ian so far.
But he might be the best player in the world when backed into a corner.
Yeah, it feels like he needs one of them finishes to just get him going. He's found a ball, and just as we said, there's a finish there, but it's not easy because he's got a couple of yellows that are tied up by reds.
Well, there's an awkward yellow in the middle of the table alongside that red, but reds, I think, because of the one at the top left, are a non-starter. Reds, actually, you don't feel too bad if there wasn't a yellow over that top left corner hole.
The good thing for Ian here is that he's got yellows that they're all close to each other, so he doesn't have to travel far for his work. So he just needs to run this through and take the yellow into the centre next. He may not even need to play a cannon if the yellow goes to the bottom right.
Yeah, flies in.
So he's just got to control the cue ball here. He's got to soft drag it, which makes it missable, and that's what's happened.
Wow, this has not been the match that Ian Ali would have wanted. Made more mistakes in, what, 17 minutes of pool than we saw in 3 massive matches in the Pro Series combined. Oh, this is a big shot though. Should be one you'd fancy, but you always feel like with a combo like this, it is decisive.
Yeah, and he's just going to play the loss of turn and bring the cue ball on the right-hand side of the table.
Wanted to make both, but doesn't. Plays it, as you mentioned, Lee, with that degree of safety.
Obviously, Ben's awkward red's going to be opened up as Ian hits the yellow.
That's a pretty rough foul for the Fave, I'm going to say, but he knew he was losing the frame as soon as that yellow didn't go in. And Ben Doyle holds all the aces here. And at the minute, we are looking at our 3rd match of the night. Loser goes home scenario. Declan Brennan versus Ian Ali.
How many people would have called that one tonight?
Super start from the underdogs, Tom Jones, and now Ben Doyle, 90 seconds away from victory here.
Yeah, you could have played that one better, to be honest. I would have played to come down to the table for the red that's on the rail, because he's now going away from his work, and that little nudge has just given the perfect out, so you can just roll this in.
That was nice. Put it as thick as he dared. Hold the cue ball.
And there's just 50 seconds left of this match, nearly. And this is for the win, pretty much.
Yeah, it's not completely over, but the fact is Ben's break next sort of eliminates that golden break really that Ian would need. 32, 31, 30 seconds. He kept that cue ball rolling. Little trick maybe he picked up from his Irish teammate you mentioned earlier on, Stevie Dempsey, one of the best in the world at managing that clock. 30 seconds left. Not impossible, but very, very unlikely. What we're going to need to see if Ian is to get anything out of this match is an almost record-breaking reverse clearance and a golden break. That's the only way it's really going to happen. Golden duck, golden break could happen, but you don't feel like Ben's going to give it the opportunity to.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the first match compared to this match, obviously Ben's likely to come out victorious here with a 3-1 lead, but both will know they need to play a lot better to win their next two matches. Are we going to see Ian run around the table?
Look where that 8 ball's come out. All he needs to do is finish this before the buzzer goes, and he'll have a shot at the break trying to make the 8 ball. Just doesn't have the time. Frustrating one from him. Too many mistakes for the fave, that's for sure, but the Bear is off and running in the Champions League. Brilliant result that for Ben Doyle, who joins Tom Jones at the top of the group, and look what we have coming up for you in just a moment. Ian Alley will stay out there, and it's a loser goes home match against Declan Brennan. Box office, and it's next.